Hi lovelies, welcome back. In today's video, I just wanted to talk a little bit about self-compassion because self-compassion is something that is pretty hard when we don't see how the mind works and pretty easy when we do. So when we don't understand how our minds work, when we don't see what's behind the human experience, self-compassion looks like something that we need to get ourselves to, like a mindset that we need to cultivate, or something that we need to do some kind of internal work or some psychological work to get to. So you'll hear people say, well, yeah, once I work through this, then I can be compassionate, or I can't be compassionate with myself until I know I'm not going to make this mistake again, or until I know that I'll do better, or until that person forgives me. And that's simply not true, because self-compassion is just the natural, inevitable result of seeing psychological innocence. And I'm going to make another video on psychological innocence, so I'm not going to go into it too deeply today, but really psychological innocence is just seeing that every human being, yourself included, is doing the best they can with the thinking they have in the moment. So when we see better, we do better, but until we see better, we're stuck doing our best given how life looks to us, given how we perceive reality, given what it seems like we're up against. So when we start to see that we're doing our best given the thinking we have in the moment, and we don't control that thinking, we're not responsible or in charge for what comes into our minds. And when we start to see that, then obviously self-compassion is kind of a no-brainer. It's like, of course we all make mistakes. Of course we all wish that we could do things better or could have done things differently. Or we think, okay, well, I need to learn from this so I, do better next time. But the whole beating ourselves up, blaming ourselves, feeling guilty, having any ill will towards ourselves just doesn't make sense when we see that we're doing the best we can. That yes, maybe the following day we saw, well, yeah, I could have done better, or yeah, I wish I hadn't made that mistake, or I wish I had taken more time or had more patience or seen it from a different perspective, whatever it is. But in the moment you did the best you could. And when we see the truth of that, we're naturally compassionate. We naturally see, oh, yeah, in that moment, I was doing my best. It's not the best that I could ever have possibly done in a kind of my potential sense. Like in pure potential, yeah, we can do differently, we can do better, we can do worse, we can, we have the full range of potential. But in any moment, we're doing the best we can in that moment. And when we see this, then suddenly our mistakes look less like something to do with our character, or less like something to do with our personality, and more like the inevitable result of how we saw life in that moment. We did the best we could, we made a mistake, and we see that, oh, okay, well, that mistake doesn't mean anything about me, or my life, or my potential. It's just what I could see to do in the moment. And we get a fresh start moment by moment by moment by moment. Because as our thinking shifts, we see better and therefore we do better. And thinking is always shifting. So we always have the potential to see differently and do differently moment to moment. But fortunately, self-compassion comes so naturally and effortlessly when we see how psychologically innocent we really are. So if you're struggling with something, or if you're blaming yourself for something you've done, some type of judgment, some type of guilt or resentment, or just kind of the thinking that you should have done better and you should have known better, just give yourself a break. You did the best you could at the time, and there's infinite fresh starts ahead of you. So I hope this was helpful, and I will be back with you next week. If you have any questions, please leave them below, or you can email me. And subscribe if you like these videos, and I will be coming out with more every Friday. So I'll see you next week. Take care. Bye.